Hello everyone and welcome back. This is video 2 in a series of videos starring the Hathors and Mother Mary. And we are just trying to find out what we want to talk about. And I think I'm going to start with my story. I've been asked many times, how did you get into this? And it's a long story. I'm 65 and I was born in a long time ago. So I'm not going to give you the whole story in one video, but I'm going to tell you that I began seeing auras when I was around 5 or 6 years old. I was brought up Catholic, and I have this kitty here who's being a pest, but and that's okay. He's just loving on me. He wants some attention. So when I was around 5 or 6 years old, I started seeing auras while I was in church, and I would see them like elongated orbs around the priests and up in the sanctuary, and they were floating around, and I could see the priest auras, see the auras of the people in the church because the lights were dim and it was a good place to be able to see them. Come on, kitty, don't get on my keyboard. Okay, yeah. So one night, I slept with my sister, my older sister, and I come from a family of 10. So none of us ever had our own room growing up. And we were always together, never felt lonely. But I was laying in bed one night and I asked my sister, I said, what is that golden glow around the pictures on the walls? And she's like, what are you talking about? I said, the light that's around the pictures and it's around people. And she says, oh, Darlene, that's just your eyes playing tricks on you. There's no light around things. And I was very confused by that. And I used to play with my eyes and blink and try to see different things, and just still continued to stare at them. And as I got a little older, I started noticing spirits, I guess you'd want to say, that would walk by my bed at night. It was just this aura, this light that would just kind of float by. Sometimes I'd hear them coming up the stairs. It sounded like somebody coming up the stairs, and I'd open up my eyes and there would be a person standing next to me, but not a real person. I did have 6 brothers who would come in during the night and walk through my room because I was in a little hallway and go into their room. But there was a big difference. My brothers made noise and I would talk to them and they would talk back. When I saw the lights going around, I tried talking to them and touching them, but they weren't really there and they would just disappear. I was never really afraid. I've never felt, afraid of the lights. And but I didn't know what they were. It took many, many years to discover what it was that I was seeing. I also went to Catholic school, and which was quite, for me, it was different. I had a lot of strange experiences, and I used to love listening to the Bible stories, and I especially love listening to the sisters talk about Mother Mary and Jesus and all the wonderful things that they did. And that's who I wanted to be when I grew up. I think I was in the 2nd grade when I determined that I wanted to heal people and I wanted to love people and be really, really good, just like they were. She discouraged thoughts like that. They said that we were born with sin and that we couldn't be like Jesus. And in the back of my mind, and I'm talking, I was in the 2nd grade, I could argue that point in my mind. I didn't dare open my mouth to the sisters because I watched what happened to other kids who spoke back to them or was saying something that they didn't like. But I kept my mouth quiet, but my mind was always going. And I was just like, how can that be? How can it be that we can't be good like that, but yet you're telling us to be good? So I wanted to be the best that I could. And that was my 2nd grade experience in Catholic school. I made it through the years. I made it through the 8th grade, but in the 7th grade, when it came time to make my confirmation, we were told that it was our choice whether we wanted to make confirmation or not. And that was when I had my falling out with the church, because I I wasn't given that choice. I told the sister that I didn't want to make my confirmation, and I was just very serious about it. It wasn't mean in any way on my part. I felt that I wasn't old enough to make that kind of a big decision. And she called my mother, and of course, my mother was like, "Yes, you're going to make your confirmation. Just go do it." So I did. I went through the motions, and after that, I never really understood, because all the rules and regulations that we had back in the 60s when I was going to church, you had to wear a hat in church, and then you'd sin if you didn't wear a hat. And I thought I was going to get hit by lightning bolts. But then all of a sudden the Pope said, okay, you don't have to wear a hat in church anymore. And it was like, you felt like a sinner when you walked in church with a bare head. It was really crazy, but I felt like, well, these are man-made rules. These aren't God's rules. They would try to tell us that this was God's rules. And they also taught that God punished us, and we always had a lot of guilt, and anything you did, you would get punished for, and tried to instill a lot of fear. I didn't fall for it. Even back then, I just couldn't understand why that was. So I've always known that this body isn't what is truly who this body isn't who we are. So I knew that we were made up of light. I saw the light bodies. I saw the light bodies of people from the other side, and I saw the light bodies around people. I saw the orbs. I saw all kinds of things that other people didn't see. And I liked spending time by myself when I was a youngster. I would be surrounded by my family, would be playing at the beach, running around, screaming, and then I'd go sit out on a rock, sticking out of the water. I'd swim out to it and sit out there for an hour or two and just sit there and watch the waves and the sun and how it sparkled and hit things. And I could also see things floating around in the air. Again, these are it's kind of like vibration, sound, and light. Is what I understand it to be now. I always saw a lot of movement, a lot of beauty. The trees have beautiful auras sticking way up above them. It looks like they're on fire, and it's kind of like a golden white color, and it's clear. You can see through it, but it's kind of like it's on fire, and it's constantly moving up on the tops of the trees and around the trees. So I have known all my life that we are beings of light. I've known for many years that I've had help along the way, and it was later on that I really understood what that meant. But I always worked at being average. I've always felt anytime I came anywhere near trouble, I always was helped out of it somehow. Either somebody came along, or I would feel that I was in danger and I would run home or whatever. So I was very, very well protected throughout my life. And that's another thing that I've kept with me as an adult. I feel grounded. I feel protected. I know that the worst thing that could happen to me is that my body would disappear, but that I won't die. The body might go away, but I won't die. I'll just be going home. I welcome that at some point. I have a job to do first. They won't let me come home. But I'm not afraid to die. So that puts a totally different spin on life. I see a lot of people. I work with a lot of clients who are very afraid of dying. They're afraid of the suffering, and the virus has brought a lot of that out in people. A lot of fear, a lot of anger, a lot of, what are we doing and why is this happening to us? So I'm working with a lot of clients right now, and they're wonderful people, and I'm working towards helping them to discover their true self, their true nature. And their true nature and your true nature is that you're a beautiful, magnificent being of light. And when you truly step into that power, it's kind of like going right through the center of your body and stepping into this vortex where it's kind of like a neutral space, and it spins around you. Our energy field spins. So when you're in that neutral space, there's nothing that can harm you there. There's nothing anyone can say that can harm you. There's no fear. Um, it's just a beautiful place to be, and it's the place of manifesting. It's a base of manifestation. It's a place of peace, a place of healing. And this is what I strive to bring out in people, is to bring out this neutral point where you're not living in fear, you're not living with a lot of anxiety. Um, it's stepping into that. It's accepting this part of you. This is a part of you. It's a part of who you are. We are all connected through this space. This is this is just our birthright. And these bodies, they're just playthings. We come down here and we play around, and we can make it fun or we can make it hell. And it depends if you like the drama and you want to continue with that. That's totally up to you. If you're looking for a way out of that, and I think a lot of people now are looking for a way out of that. With the pandemic, it's brought us all closer to who we are. It's slowed down life for us. It's brought us closer to our families, even though we may be miles apart. I hadn't seen my children in a long time, and my grandson, and I can tell you it can be heartbreaking. But we Zoom, we talk, we love each other, we make jokes, and we try to keep all of our spirits up. And we know that we'll get back together very soon, um, and uh, and continue on. So I don't want to give you too much in this little bits of time. I'm working hard at pushing myself to put myself out there to help you to understand a little better of who we all are. Maybe teach you, if you want to walk with me for a little while and feel the energy that the Hathors and Mother Mary, Yogananda, are bringing to you in this moment. Um, they flow this energy, and you can pick it up and feel it. It's a very calming, very peaceful place. So just right now, I'm just going to ask you to open your mind to accept this place of peace, because it is there. We've just turned our backs on it because we get so busy with life. I hear people say, "Oh, I'm too busy for that. I can't do that." So there's a lot of different exercises, little things we can do to change the channel in our minds to open up this place of peace and step into it. This is our power. This is our birthright. And from this place of peace, we can do anything, absolutely anything. I know this with all my heart and soul. As hard as this is for me to sit here in a video talking to you and sharing this information, because I'm a very shy person and I enjoy my quiet and my peace. But I feel very strongly that now is the time for me to step out of that. And I'm way out of my comfort zone. So I'm going to apologize right now for any distractions in the background in my home, for my sometimes awkwardness and uncomfortable, um, my uncomfortable way of doing this. I don't know. Maybe I'm not coming across that way, and that's fine. But I want to come across with just this peace and just give you an understanding of being in a point of neutrality where you are not as affected as most people are with the news and the fear and the anger of what's going on. Take this opportunity to go within. If you don't have time to meditate, it's as simple as taking a breath. Anytime you're facing something, just take a little breath. Anytime you start to get afraid, you're reading the news and you say, "Oh my God," blow into it, blow into the news, breathe in brilliant healing light, if you want to imagine that. See yourself within that center part of your being. Breathe it in for yourself and blow it out for the world. It's very simple. It takes a little practice. but it only takes a second. It takes as long as it takes for you to take a breath. You're gonna breathe anyway. So if you can do your breath consciously a little bit, make an intention. Breathe through everything in your day, no matter what you do. You're doing your dishes, making the beds, scolding your children. And behind the scold, you can say, I love you so much, and I want you to be a good boy or girl. Breathe that into them. Breathe that calmness. No matter what you're doing, you can bring that into your life. So that's my message for today. I will get back on here tomorrow and see what comes up for you. So good night for now. It's nighttime, and gonna go relax for a little bit. Maybe have a glass of wine. But good night, and God bless you, and keep breathing. Keep breathing. I'll tell you more of my story later. See you later.